Hello? Hello? Okay, it's working. It's working now. It wasn't working before. Say hi to the cat. The cat's having a good day right now, hanging out on the cat chair, on the cat cam. Very beautiful evening. How is everybody doing on this fine day, January 14th, 6 days before the Civil War breaks out after the inauguration of Joe Biden? Hey, what's up, Guildmaster on Twitch? What's up, Ferris, Chris, Erica, JT, DJ? Improve content by 3,000%. Like and shove and like and share and sub. Yeah. All right. So Joe Biden released his economic plan today, and people are mad about it because he's been talking about, $2,000 checks. A big line in Georgia was about $2,000 checks. And now, in his big COVID plan, he isn't proposing $2,000 checks. He's proposing $1,400 to make the previous $600 into $2,000. Now, some people are saying he lied and people are expecting $2,000. Others are saying that this makes complete sense and he's not being dishonest. So I don't know if you guys have a certain perspective on this topic. But Joe Biden is coming out with $1,400 checks. He did bring up a $15 minimum wage as well, which is pretty cool. I'm a sellout. I'm sorry. Yeah, the cat, people like the cat, Let me fix this chat really quick. Let's see, browser. Work. Thank you. Sup, Robert? Hamster. Pop out chat. You think it does make sense? How quickly they roll it out? I'll owe him $2,000. Well, if they're going to do it through budget reconciliation, they only need a simple majority in the Senate, so they don't need to get like bipartisan approval for it. Well, Biden came out and said he's not going to be cheap, that this is not the time for deficit concerns. We are going to be going full steam ahead to revive this economy. And actually, many conservative think tanks are for what Biden's doing, spending more money. Deficit spending isn't that scary to people who actually have money. Like modern monetary theory, many people on Wall Street actually really like that idea. They aren't against giving regular people money per se, as long as they think it's not going to threaten their power. That's their big concern. But I want to go through this a little bit quick so I could get myself up to date on what Joe Biden said. What speed? 1.5, 1.75, 2? Well, yeah, giving money to people is usually a smart idea. Okay.
The virus that has ravaged my fellow Americans. It's been 343 days since the virus that has ravaged our nation tragically claimed its first life. On February the 6th in 2020, Patricia Dowd took her last breath at home under the California sun in Santa Clara. She was 57 years old.
Nice little anecdote.
Wife, mother, daughter, and sister. She never knew she had the virus at the time when most folks never heard about the virus. But just like that, she was gone. And almost exactly 1 year later, nearly 400,000 of our fellow Americans have met the same cruel fate. Countless families and friends left behind with unrelenting grief and guilt, anger and frustration. And the emptiness felt by the loss of life is compounded by the loss of our way of life.
The thing that sucks is so many people don't care about the amount of people that have died. Like, I see so many people talking about COVID as if it really is simply the flu. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to go away. We have to live with it. We have to get sick. We have to go to work. People in America are so designed and accustomed to getting beat up you know, beyond recognition. They don't really think they deserve much. So COVID comes in, they're scared, they don't know what's really going on. After a while, they got used to it. You know, it became the number one cause of death in America, but I still see people downplaying it. Part of it is, you put a good word in for me with Destiny. Yeah, that's funny. Part of the issue with COVID, which we don't get in like terrorist attacks or anything, is it's quiet. If there's a bomb that goes off and people die, then it's all over the news. It's scary. It's shock. But if it's a disease that kills people behind closed doors, it's not going to bring out as many emotions. So if one person dies from a bombing, people are going to care more than if 400,000 people die from a pandemic. It's simply how human emotion works. It takes either being a really good-natured human being or being able to critically think through it enough to really understand the amount of pain and suffering that's going on in America. Yeah, misinformed. Yeah, true. Like Crowder makes money off of suffering people and all that stuff. By the way, let me know if the stream gets crazy. I'm trying new settings. I hope it works and it doesn't kick me off, but it might. It is what it is. Hey, by the way, I sent an email to Destiny. I sent a message on Discord. I made a post in DGG, the subreddit for DGG. I put out another video with a clip of me for Forced to Vote. I did all I could, and many of you came out to support. Thank you for that. Maybe the Big D man will pick me for the debate. I'll be ready for it if he does. If he doesn't, it's whatever. It is kind of disheartening to see all these people working with their streamer friends and getting big like subscriber boosts and like killing me in growth. But it is what it is. Got to keep on pushing ahead. Eventually something cool will happen, you know. Let's see. It seems to be better now. Okay, cool.
During this pandemic, millions
Yeah, Erica. One person tragedy, 1,000 people a statistic.
of Americans, through no fault of their own, have lost the dignity and respect that comes with a job and a paycheck. Millions of Americans never thought they'd be out of work. Many of them never even envisioned the idea, are facing eviction, waiting for hours in their cars to feed their families as they drive up to a food bank. Millions have kept their jobs but have seen their hours and paychecks reduced, barely hanging on as well. That's happening today in the United States of America. Just as in the midst of the dark winter of this pandemic, as cases, hospitalizations, and deaths spike at record levels, there is real pain overwhelming the real economy. One where people rely on paychecks, not their investments, to pay for their bills and their meals and their children's needs.
Dude, one shitty thing throughout this entire process is hearing boomers who have 401ks talk about how they're doing so good because the stock market is going up. Because, you know, being a progressive-minded fellow, I walk around and tell people like, hey, the stock market doesn't show how the economy's actually doing. And these freaking boomers say to me, well, my freaking 401k looks great. Who cares about your 401k when the entire world around you is crashing down? I don't get it, dude.
You won't see this pain if your scorecard is how things are going on Wall Street. But you will see it fairly clearly if you examine what the twin crises of a pandemic and this sinking economy have laid bare. The growing divide between those few people at the very top who are doing quite well in this economy and the rest of America. Just since this pandemic began, the wealth of the top 1% of the nation has grown roughly $1.5 trillion.
Did the stream die? Is it buffering? I feel like it's buffering. Dang it, internet. Maybe I'll go unplug my Amazon Alexas. Well, they don't care about why the stock market's going up. They care that their 401k is going up. That's the thing, you know. Their personal stuff's going up, so they don't care about the external effects of it.
Since the end of last year, 4 times.
But that's the thing. They don't care if the economy's good. They care if they're doing good. So how do you convince them to care about other people? I think that's the big question.
The amount for the entire bottom 50% of American wage earners. Some 18 million Americans are still relying on unemployment insurance. Some 400,000 small businesses have permanently closed their doors. And it's not hard to see that we're in the middle of the once-in-several-generations economic crisis with a once-in-several-generations public health crisis. The crisis of deep human suffering is in plain sight, and there's no time to waste. We have to act, and we have to act now. This is what economists are telling us. More importantly, it's what the values we hold dear in our hearts as Americans are telling us. A growing chorus of top economists agree that in this moment of crisis, with interest rates at historic lows, we cannot afford inaction. It's not just a smart fiscal investments.
Yeah, interest rates at historic lows. Our rate of inflation is only at like 0.6% right now.
Deficit spending are more urgent than ever. Is that the return on these investments in jobs, racial equity, will prevent long-term economic damage, and the benefits will surpass the cost. A growing number of top economists has shown even our debt situation will be more stable, not less stable, if we seize this moment with vision and purpose. And so tonight, I'd like to talk to you about our way forward, a two-step plan of rescue and recovery, a two-step plan to build a bridge to the other side of the crisis we face to a better, stronger, more secure America. Tonight, I'll lay out my first step, the American Rescue Plan, that will tackle the pandemic and get direct financial assistance and relief to Americans who need it the most.
American Rescue Plan.
Next month, in my first appearance before a joint session of Congress, I will lay out my Build Back Better recovery plan. It'll make historic investments in infrastructure, that Build Back Better plan. Infrastructure, manufacturing, innovation, research and development, and clean energy. Investments in a caregiving economy and skills and training needed by our workers to be able to compete and win in the global economy of the coming years. Moody's, an independent Wall Street firm, said my approach will create more than 18 million good-paying jobs. Our rescue and recovery plan is a path forward with both seriousness of purpose and a clear plan.
Well, to be fair, it's not hard for a president to seem normal. All they need to do is read from the teleprompter. Trump was simply too crazy and narcissistic to do that. He made everything about like an ego battle and about him and about why he's the best and about like literally everything Trump says, he finishes it with nobody thought that was possible. Literally, after all this stuff, we're going to create so many jobs. By the way, nobody thought it was possible. The vaccines are going to come out so quick. By the way, nobody thought it was possible. COVID is killing he always finishes it with that. It's so annoying.
Transparency and accountability with a call for unity that is equally necessary. And unity is not some pie-in-the-sky dream. It's a practical step to getting the things we have to get done as a country get done together. As I said when it passed in December, the bipartisan COVID-19 relief package was a very important first step. And I'm grateful for the Democrats, Republicans, and independent members of Congress who came together to get it done. What I said at the time, it's just a down payment. We need more action, more bipartisanship, and we need to move quickly. We need to move fast. Our rescue plan starts aggressively in order to speed up our national COVID-19 response. The vaccines offer so much hope, and we're grateful to the scientists and researchers and everyone who participated in the clinical trials.
By the way, the vaccines, apparently now, after you get the second vaccine, so there's one vaccine and then like a month later you get a second one. And after you get the second shot, you need to wait, I think it's after the second shot, you need to wait 2 weeks until you're considered fully vaccinated. Hey, what's up, sir?
We're also grateful for the rigorous review and testing that has led to millions of people around the world already being vaccinated safely. But the vaccine rollout in the United States has been a dismal failure thus far. Tomorrow, I will lay out our vaccination plan to correct course and meet our goal of 100 million shots at the end of my first 100 days as president. This will be one of the most challenging operational
That'd be so hot, dude. If we had 100 million shots done by April, that'd be so cool.
We've ever undertaken as a nation. We'll have to move heaven and earth to get more people vaccinated, to create more places for them to get vaccinated, to mobilize more medical teams to get shots in people's arms, to increase vaccine supply, and to get it out the door as fast as possible. We'll also do everything we can to keep our educators and students safe, to safely reopen a majority of our K-8 schools by the end of the first 100 days.
Yeah, so it's like over 100 billion for reopening schools. He's gonna give money to provide more jobs for janitors and sanitation workers. This plan includes a $20 billion vaccine rollout as well.
We can do this.
Vaccine distribution plan.
The schools themselves, the communities, the states, the clear guidance they need, as well as the resources they need that they can't afford right now because of the economic dilemma they're in. That means more testing and transportation, additional cleaning and sanitizing services in those schools, protective equipment and ventilation systems in those schools. We need to make sure that workers who have COVID-19 symptoms are quarantined, and those who need to take care of their family members with COVID-19 symptoms should be able to stay home from work and still get paid. This will reduce the spread of the virus and make sure workers get the support they need to maintain their families. But but we need about $400 billion in funding from Congress to make all of what I just said happen. It's a great deal. I'm convinced we are ready to get this done. The very health of our nation is at stake.
One big issue, though, is all the mutations we're seeing. If these vaccines can't cover these mutations, we're going to have a little bit of a problem there. But it seems that the mutations aren't taking over yet, but they might. We have to watch those pretty closely. I think there's one from Africa and one from UK that we have to worry about.
Our rescue plan also includes immediate relief to Americans hardest hit and most in need. We will finish the job of getting a total of $2,000 in cash relief to people who need it the most. The $600 already appropriated is simply not enough. We just have to choose between paying rent and putting food on the table. Even for those who've kept their jobs, these checks are really important. You see, if you're an American worker making $40,000 a year with less than $400 in savings, maybe you've lost hours, or maybe you're doing fewer shifts, driving a truck or caring for the kids or the elderly. You're out there putting your life on the line to work during this pandemic and worried every week that you'll get sick, lose your job, or worse. $2,000 is going to go a long way to ease that pain.
I mean, it should be every month.
Peace of mind for struggling families by extending unemployment insurance beyond the end of March for millions of workers.
This is good. The unemployment is extended, and by the way, it's $300 right now. It's going to be increased if this gets through. Increased to $400 a week, is it? Yeah, $400 extra unemployment insurance, and it's extended to September. So now it ends at March, but it'll be extended until September, which is really good.
That means that 18 million Americans currently relying on unemployment benefits while they look for work can count on these checks continuing to be there. Plus, there will be a $400 per week supplement.
Oh, thank you for the $5, Ron. What Republicans will side with Biden on all this spending? The populists or the establishment, or neither? So if they do it through budget reconciliation, they only need one vote if Joe Manchin isn't on board. And Josh Hawley probably will do that, or another wannabe populist will probably hop on that board. But when it comes to if they have to get 60 votes for it to pass, I don't know what they're going to have to do or what kind of compromises they're going to have to make. Budget reconciliation is by far the best way to do this.
So people can make ends meet.
You only need a simple majority for that.
This gets money quickly into the pockets of millions of Americans who will spend it immediately on food and rent and other basic needs. And as the economists tell us, that helps the whole economy grow. We'll also tackle the growing hunger crisis in America. As I speak, and the Vice President...
Oh, this is really good. Expanding SNAP benefits is really good.
Spoken to this many times. 1 in 7 households in America, more than 1 in 5 Black and Latino households in America, report they don't have enough food to eat. This includes 30 million adults and as many as 12 million children. It's wrong. It's tragic. It's unnecessary. It's unacceptable. So we're going to extend emergency nutritional assistance for 43 million children and their families enrolled in the SNAP program through the rest of this year. We'll help hard-hit restaurants prepare meals for the hungry.
Well, part of the reason they don't have one for AIDS or whatever is because they made other vaccines for SARS and coronaviruses before. This is SARS-V2, I think, isn't it considered? And other like flu-type viruses. AIDS is a different monster, if I'm correct.
Food for the families who need it. We will invest $3 billion in making sure mothers and their young children have the nutrition they need. This will not only meet our moral obligation we have to one another, but will also spur our economic growth, get restaurants and workers back on the job. And as we work to keep people from going hungry, we'll also work to keep a roof over their heads to stem the growing...
Oh, you can't vaccinate AIDS at all? At all? There's no way to do it whatsoever?
Housing crisis and evictions that are looming. Approximately 14 million Americans are falling behind on rent, many at risk of eviction. If we don't act now, there'll be a wave of evictions and foreclosures in the coming months.
That's a good point, Richie Rifle. So people are screaming at Bernie Sanders for not getting a utopia, but Bernie's work so far is what is getting us this right now. Even how bad and, not up to the task what we're getting is, Bernie Sanders is the reason we are getting any good things out of this. Like, people can't throw that progress away or overlook that because Bernie isn't gonna, usher in perfect utopian socialism like at this moment.
As the pandemic rages on, this would overwhelm emergency shelters, increase COVID-19 infections as people have nowhere to go and can't socially distance. Next week, we'll take action to extend nationwide restrictions on evictions and foreclosures. This will provide more than 25 million Americans greater stability instead of living on the edge every single month. And I'm asking Congress to do its part by funding rental assistance for 14 million hard-hit families and tenants. It will also be a bridge to economic recovery for countless mom-and-pop landlords. These crises are straining the budgets of states and cities and tribal communities that are forced to consider layoff and service restrictions of the most needed.
Bernie's very pragmatic. He made the party go ideologically left and also pragmatically left at the same time. Like, he threaded such a perfect needle in that regard.
It means that people putting their lives at risk are the very people now at risk of losing their jobs. Police officers, firefighters, all first responders, nurses, educators. You know, over the last year alone, over 600,000 educators have lost their jobs in our cities and towns. Our rescue plan will provide emergency funding to keep these essential workers on the job and maintain essential services.
Finally.
To ensure that vaccines are administered and schools can reopen. Vice President-elect Harris and I have been speaking with county officials, mayors, governors of both parties.
I like how boring this is.
We're ready to work with them to help them get the relief they need. Our rescue plan will also help small businesses that are the engines of our economic growth.
This is really good too. An actual small business plan.
As well. But they're hurting badly. And you realize they account for nearly half of the entire total U.S. workforce. Our rescue plan will provide flexible grants to help those hardest hit small businesses survive the pandemic. And the low-cost capital that will help entrepreneurs of all backgrounds create and maintain jobs, plus provide...
Yeah, Ryan Knight's freaking meme. Yeah, I'll bring it up real quick.
Last week, I laid out how we'll make sure that our emergency small business relief is distributed swiftly and equitably, unlike the first time around. We're going to focus on small businesses on Main Street. We'll focus on minority-owned small businesses, women-owned small businesses, and finally having equal access to the resources they need to reopen.
Cringe, dumb,
and we will be
stupid, idiotic, tone deaf,
reduces waste and fraud and abuse like we did
Twitter obsessed,
that I administered in our
bullshit,
direct cash payments,
cartoon politics,
rent relief, food assistance, keeping essential frontline workers on the job, aid to small
How
businesses.
dumb do you gotta
These are
be?
the key elements to the American Rescue Plan.
Jesus,
That will lift
dude.
12
There's
million
no other
Americans out
word
of
for
poverty
it.
And cut child poverty in half. That's 5 million children.
He's a grifter, though.
living
He's
out
not
of poverty
dumb.
if we move. Our plan will reduce poverty in the black community by 1/3, reduce poverty in the Hispanic community by almost 40%. And includes much more, like an increase in the minimum wage to at least $15 an hour. People tell me that's going to be hard to pass. Florida just passed it. As divided as that state is, they just passed it. The rest of the country is ready to move as well. It should be a national minimum wage of $15 an hour.
My thing with a $15 minimum wage is I'm for it, but you need to provide some type of mechanism to make sure small businesses don't go under because they can't afford to pay those wages. Like, if you live in one of the poorest and cheapest places in the country and you can't afford to pay your workers $15 an hour, there should be some type of program to make sure those small businesses don't go under.
No one working 40 hours a week should live below the poverty line. And that's what it means. If you work for less than $15 an hour,
Ryan Knight.
you're living in poverty. It includes access to affordable child care that will enable parents, particularly women, to get back to work. I look forward to working with members of Congress from both parties to move quickly to get the American Rescue Plan to the American people. And then we can move with equal urgency and bipartisanship.
We need to be
to
decent,
my
guys.
Build
We
Back
need
Better
civility politics.
recovery plan that I will call for next month to generate even more economic
$14 with small businesses with less than 25 employees. I think we should have like a $25 minimum wage for like Walmart and Amazon, honestly. There'd be no negative economic impact from that. They're going to still need the same number of workers.
growth. American manufacturing,
The automation's
arsenal
already
of
coming
democracy.
regardless.
it will be so again. Imagine a future made in America, all made in America, and all by Americans. We'll use taxpayers' dollars to rebuild America. We'll
Yeah, there
buy
should be an
American
exemption,
products,
yeah.
supporting millions of American manufacturing jobs, enhancing our competitive strength in an increasingly competitive world. Imagine historic investments in research and development to sharpen America's innovative edge in markets where global leadership is up for grabs. Markets like the battery technology, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, clean energy. Imagine confronting the climate crisis with American jobs and ingenuity leading the world. It's time to stop talking about infrastructure and to finally start building an
Yeah,
infrastructure.
after freaking 500 years of talking about a real infrastructure program since FDR, we're finally going to do something, I hope. Holy crap, dude. Infrastructure programs are the most freaking popular thing in American politics, but it never gets done. Like, the government, the freaking central federal government should be making an infrastructure bank or freaking giving a slush fund to states to work on infrastructure in rural areas, in urban areas, in suburbs, everywhere. Infrastructure is number one, dude. That's one of my favorite economic freaking stimulus right there. That's my favorite jobs creating program. We need freaking infrastructure. We need roads, airports, bridges. I don't even care. Like, build random shit. I don't care if we even need it.
So we can be more competitive. Millions of good paying jobs that put Americans to work rebuilding our roads, our bridges, our ports, to make them more climate resilient, to make them faster, cheaper, cleaner, to transport American-made goods across our country and around the world. That's how we compete. And imagine millions of jobs in a caregiving economy to ease the financial burden of caring for young children and aged loved ones.
True.
Let's make sure our caregivers, mostly women, women of color, immigrants, have the same pay and dignity that they deserve. So we can do these bold, practical things now. I know what I just described does not come cheaply, but failure to do so.
This man is scary. Yes, Linda, be scared.
Consensus among leading economists is we simply cannot afford not to do what I'm proposing.
This guy's a radical communist. Watch out.
Institutions from around the world, from the Federal Reserve to the International Monetary Fund, have underscored the urgency. Even Wall Street firms have reinforced the logic. If we invest now boldly, smartly, and with unwavering focus on American workers and families, we will strengthen our economy, reduce inequity, and put our nation's long-term finances on the most sustainable course. And where we're making permanent investments, recurring investments, as I said in the campaign trail, we will pay for that by making sure that everyone pays their fair share, not punishing anybody. We can do it without punishing a single person by closing tax loopholes for companies that ship jobs overseas, or to allow American companies, 90 of them, the top Fortune 500, to pay zero in federal income taxes.
You can tell he's full of shit by looking at him.
So we can make permanent investments to rescue and rebuild America. It's the right thing for our economy.
I love how he's talking about closing tax loopholes, and like he's trying to not hurt these rich people's feelings. Like, we're not gonna punish you, rich people. We're not gonna punish you. We're just gonna close a couple tax loopholes. Imagine, dude, having to baby the elites in your society so much.
It's the fair
Don't
thing,
be scared,
it's the
guys.
decent thing to do. We not only have an economic imperative to act now, I believe we have a moral obligation. In this pandemic, in America, we cannot let people go hungry. We cannot let people get evicted. We cannot watch nurses, educators, and others lose their jobs. We so badly need them.
We're still gonna do
We
it.
must act now and act decisively.
You better.
My fellow Americans, the decisions we make in the next few weeks and months are going to determine whether we thrive in a way that benefits all Americans, or whether we stay stuck in a place where those at the top do great, while economic growth for most everyone else is just a spectator sport, and where American prospects dim, not brighten.
Yeah, okay,
These
Biden.
investments will determine whether we reassert American leadership and outcompete our competitors in the global economy.
You better
We're
do
better
something.
equipped to do this in any nation in the world. Or whether we watch them catch up and pass us by. Together, I know which path we'll choose. And that includes all Americans. So we can.
Well, yeah, that's why the last 4 presidents have promised infrastructure programs. Is because they're so popular. People love that shit, but they never actually do it.
In the 21st century. But even with all of these bold steps, it's going to take time to get where we need to be. There will be stumbles, but I will always be honest with you about both the progress we're making and what setbacks we meet. And
Well, yeah,
here's the
inflation's
deal.
at like
The more people we
0.3%.
vaccinate, the faster we do it, the sooner we can save lives and put this pandemic behind us and get back to our lives and our loved ones. And the sooner we can rescue and rebuild the American economy, the biggest and most profitable engine in the world. I know it's been nearly a year that tested us beyond measure. For all of you who have lost someone, my heart goes out to you. I know that feeling looking at that empty chair across the table. All of you who fall on hard times. I know you can never get back what you lost. But as your president, I know that every day matters and every person matters. From the very first to the nearly 400,000 lost American souls and counting, to the millions of you just looking for a fighting chance in this economy, I promise you, we will not forget you.
If Joe Biden can actually lead America out of the pandemic, which is probably somewhat likely, judging by what a really dumbed down way to look at, presidential elections is to say, do people think they're better off than they were 4 years ago? And that's probably how they're going to vote. So by default, I don't think there's any way we can be worse than we are right now in 4 years. By default, Democrats should be going into 2024 pretty good. If Joe Biden does anything, if Joe Biden does the bare minimum.
We understand what you're going through. We will never, ever give up.
One infrastructure
And
program.
we'll come back. We'll
Something.
come back together.
Please.
We didn't get into all this overnight. We won't get out of it overnight. And we can't do it as a separated and divided nation. The only way we can do it is to come together as fellow Americans, as neighbors, as the United States of America. And when we do, there's nothing beyond our capacity. I've said this many times. When America acts as one, there's never been a single thing we've been unable to do, no matter how consequential the issue has been. Out of all the peril of this moment, I want you to know, I give him a word, I see the promise as well. We've seen clearly what we face now. And I remain so optimistic about America. As optimistic as I've ever been. We have everything we need, but the will must be demonstrated. So come Wednesday, we begin a new chapter. The Vice President-elect and I will do our best to meet all the expectations you have for the country and the expectations we have for it. I'm confident. I'm truly confident. Together, we can get this done and come out better off than when we went into this crisis. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
Oh boy. Well, there you go. Well, the Biden plan. I think I have a list on Reuters of what he actually did here. Yeah. Biden's $1.9 trillion rescue plan. So, U.S. President-elect Joe Biden's proposal to pour $1.9 trillion into a hobbled economy could lay the foundation for a surge in jobs and spending that many economists say is needed to avoid long-term damage from a record-breaking pandemic recession. Analysts have already begun marking up their forecasts for economic growth this year after last week's elections in Georgia delivered both houses to Democrats. All right, I want some numbers. The new admin is banking on coronavirus immunization to restore economic growth, but allowing for roughly 100,000 new jobs needed each month to account for population growth. It may take a new president's entire first term to restore the job market to where it was. What's up, Nighthawk? I'm doing all right. Biden will be okay. So the Biden plan will be welcomed at the Federal Reserve, where some officials had been concerned late last year about a diminishing fiscal response to the crisis. Yeah, the Fed is probably freaked out with what Trump was doing. Fed Chair Jerome Powell noted that early and forceful government spending had helped save the economy from a much more dire fate. Yeah, well, obviously. Shit, dude. Now is not the time to be talking about exit, referring to the Fed's super easy monetary policy that includes a massive bond buying program and interest rates expected to stay near zero for years. Janet Yellen. I want an actual list of what Biden's plan is, though. I want to see the bare bones numbers behind it. Right here.
There's 160. Biden administration is unveiling a $1.9 trillion economic proposal that will serve as the opening point for negotiating 3 specific pillars, so to speak. The first is dealing with the pandemic, part of $7
PPE, vaccine program, testing expansion. Yeah, it's bare bones stuff. It goes further than Trump. It's more targeted. It doesn't seem to have as much fat. So the Paycheck Protection Program that was in the initial CARES Act was terrible. It was bloated. This seems to have more direct support to go to small businesses. More than simply shitty loans that were given to corporations, instead of small business. Do you guys think the $15 minimum wage is actually going to be done? If we actually got that $15 minimum through this bill, that'd be interesting. I don't think it'll be done, though. I imagine this is where Biden wants to start, and then he wants to compromise for the final thing, because he's signaled a bunch of civility politics. He signaled that he wants to work with Republicans. So I can't imagine he's going to be very stuck on this proposal other than the $2,000 checks. But I don't know. What is Linda saying? You predict in 1 year the stock market will lose all of its gains. It'll be like Florida with a slow increase over time. Yeah, probably what, 725 right now, probably what, 950 or something, maybe 10. Even 10 might be a big shock to some states. Some of these poor southern states, the poorest counties in the nation, can they handle that shock? I don't know. Linda, if you want to be doing that, this isn't a good channel for that. We don't really do that, complaining 24/7 thing. We kind of talk about reality and deal with reality. We don't really we don't just yell liar Obama, war criminal Obama, they're liars, they're scum we're trying to learn how to win politics, not really just complain about it, but But you know who does like to complain about it? somebody named Jimmy Dore, to be more exact. All right, I want to see what the
So
genius
guess what? A lot of headlines say
wants
about
to
Bernie
say
Sanders is going to be
today.
super aggressive as budget chairman. Here's one from Politico. Aggressive Bernie Sanders.
All right, let me put this at regular speed, actually. Pragmatic progressive. I'm not really even pragmatic. I'm just, I'm like, just not insane. All right, bud. Oh boy, my favorite show. Bernie Sanders abandons pushing Biden left and Medicare for all.
So guess what? A lot of headlines say about Bernie Sanders is going to be super aggressive as budget chairman. Here's one from Politico. Aggressive Bernie Sanders on his big plans as budget chair. The Democratic Socialist is prepped to be as aggressive as he can be with the budget tactics to help Democrats and President-elect Joe Biden enact their sweeping agenda.
Yo, Mark.
Sounds
Yeah,
encouraging,
true.
right? Politico.
I'm the
You're a
liberal.
staunch supporter of Medicare for all. Do you envision reconciliation being used for a massive expansion of health care? What might that look like? Bernie Sanders says, well, look, I'm a very strong advocate of Medicare for all. I introduced the legislation in the Senate. And let me tell you something, folks. Nothing exudes strength and power like starting a sentence with, well, look.
Picking at the rhetoric.
Hey, how'd your pasta sauce turn out? Well, look, you ain't having a good dinner tonight. So he went on to say, I think that this is his answer. This is his answer. I think at the end of the day, the American people understand that our current healthcare system is so dysfunctional, so cruel, so wasteful, so expensive that we need to do what every other major country on earth does and get healthcare to all the people. That sounds good.
So right now, Bernie Sanders is pushing for direct, popular programs that can help people right now, and that, like I said, everybody really agrees on. Waging political capital in an effective way, trying to get $15 done. If Bernie Sanders can get $15 done through this budget reconciliation, that'd be a big win. He's been influencing the policy-making decision from behind the scenes for a long time now. So here's a cool thing I saw from Pramelia, is it Jayapal? So she was talking to Marianne Williamson about force the vote, and I thought this was really cool to watch.
To show all the myths that are out there. This is how we have to move it along. Now, the thing that people have to understand is wherever you are, you need to be in those districts where we have Democrats and Republicans who are not co-sponsors of the bill to get people onto the bill. I do not want to have a vote on a bill that is going to fail.
Yes, you need to get the voters first before you get the politicians. But the big issue with the people who are for, like, force the vote and stuff like that is they either think every voter is already on their side because they don't know how to read polling data and they spend all their time on Twitter, or they don't care if voters agree and they think progressives should try to strong arm the political process somehow. I don't know how they're going to beat, if they don't have people power, they don't have big money, they don't have media connections, they don't have Washington connections whatsoever. How are they going to get Medicare for all passed? Just by being, the most morally righteous? No, they have to do this. It's a process. They have to do it in a pragmatic way, and an approach that can build support over time and political capital over time. Because if you don't have the necessary political capital, you're never going to get Medicare for all done, in any way that you actually want it to be done, in a way that actually helps people and is actually pragmatic and realistic.
So I need to get more co-sponsors on the bill so that I am sure that we can win the vote, because it will set us back years.
Yep, exactly.
If we have a vote that fails on Medicare for all.
Yeet.
That will be the end of the movement.
She agrees.
Where people will say,
Marianne.
see, we had a vote and we couldn't get the support.
See, this is what happens when you get out of your echo chamber. Now Marianne Williamson is talking to somebody who knows what they're talking about, and she's like, oh, I see what you mean. She's not just talking to emotional people who aren't going to look at the actual facts around the case. Medicare for all, which is a policy people consider pie in the sky, is not going to benefit by the entire party rejecting it in a vote. So, moderate Democrat versus progressive Democrat at a debate. Progressive Democrat says we need Medicare for all. Moderate Democrat says that's unrealistic. You know what? Actually, it just failed in the House by a vote, 100 to 350. Medicare for all is impossible. It can never get done. I'm more pragmatic. These progressives are all pie in the sky. They can't get stuff done, which is, by the way, the big stereotype about progressives. They can say progressives don't know how to get stuff done. I have a public option. Much more pragmatic. People are actually going to get helped by me. I'm actually going to help people. That's all they got to do. Your policy isn't going to be helped by failing a vote by 350 when the party isn't on your side yet. We need to do so much work, with a groundswell of support for Medicare for all in order to force these politicians to support that policy and be a co-sponsor.
For it. So I think that is a terrible strategy. That is not the strategy I want to pursue, because I want to win. I want to win. I want to get health care for everyone. Single payer, guaranteed, universal, no private insurance premiums, no deductibles, comprehensive care for everyone.
Yep, and the media too. The entire thing is going to be seen through the media. Unless if you think Americans are going to be freaking kneeling all day, staring down at their phones, watching C-SPAN live feeds on YouTube. $2,000 checks is a policy Americans really, really, really wanted. And when that didn't happen, there was no big rebuttal from American voters. There was no big protest, no big, political demonstration. In America, these policies need to be actually done by consent from the electorate. And we need to beat things like corporate propaganda in order to get decommodified healthcare through the door. That is part of the battle.
Tied to employment. And I have been working with an incredible movement of people, grassroots, labor.
Hey, stop comparing Medicare for all to Martin Luther King Jr. or you're getting banned. That's freaking disrespectful and very, very out of touch with actual history.
Unions. For the first time, Marianne, last year, we got something like 23 labor unions signed on. We don't have all of them. That has been a part of our problem, is some of the unions that have their own healthcare plans and have put a lot of money into them. And we haven't quite figured out how to deal with that issue and how to make sure that workers don't lose the money that was taken from their paychecks and put into those systems.
Exactly.
So
people have real concerns about this policy. People have real reasons not to trust a government-run program. These concerns are valid. And as progressives, we should be trying to understand voters and we should be trying to change their minds. We shouldn't be trying to strong-arm them and scream at them and be little mini authoritarian wannabes. We should be trying to get people actually on our side. And if your favorite commentator doesn't understand that only half the party is actually for Medicare for all, either they need to shut up about this topic or learn how to read polling or talk to regular Democratic voters or look at, any result of any election around the country that isn't in a plus 50 Democratic district. This is a serious issue, something I really care about, and I don't want it to be fumbled by people who do not care enough to put the necessary time in to be educated on this topic.
Understand that Medicare for all is not being put on the table, and they don't care why at this point. But they don't.
That last time we got 3 hearings in the House of Representatives, official hearings in the committees of record for the first time in the history of the United States Congress. That didn't happen by just people saying, oh, we should do it. It happened by people mobilizing, putting
So what's
pressure
going to happen
on
this time?
Congress, fighting and negotiating within Congress on the rules package. The reason we got those hearings is because we said we weren't going to have the votes on the rules package. And so we were able to get the hearings committed to, and we got those hearings. We got over 50% of the.
I literally said that I disagree with Destiny on half those points. My criticism was of people who don't live in big cities, who move to big cities and then complain about the costs. If you're from a big city already, I wasn't talking about you. I'm just saying if you live in Delaware and you want to move to LA and you can't afford it, you made that decision. If you live in San Francisco, you were born there, that's a little bit different, in my opinion. Like right now, myself, if I move to LA, I'm not going to cry about the costs if it does cost too much. That is the exact topic we were talking about. I showed a pretty clear, nuanced take when it comes to people's different problems living in cities and why Destiny is dumb as shit when he says stuff like "just move."
Democratic caucus supporting Medicare for all. Did you know, Marianne, that before I introduced HR 1374, there was no Medicare for all bill? There was a resolution. It was about 18
Yes, a
pages
resolution
long.
is different from an actual
It was the one that
bill.
John Conyers had put forward for 20 years. But there was no detailed bill of how we were going to get it done.
Tell me the plan.
Tell me the plan. Let's go. What's the plan? Let's hear it.
Detailed bill of how we were going to get it done.
Tell me the plan.
We got into the Biden-Sanders Unity Task Force through the Unity Task Force, Healthcare Task Force, which I co-chaired. We were able to get significant pieces of Medicare for All into the Biden platform. We didn't get Medicare for All. We knew we weren't going to. Our candidate lost. All of our candidates that supported Medicare for All lost. So Joe Biden won, so we knew he had put a stake in the sand around the Affordable Care Act. What were we able to get in there? We got a commitment that healthcare would be untethered from employment. That was huge. We got a commitment that any public option would be administered by Medicare and not by a private insurance company.
Oh, that's so big, dude. Actually having it come from Medicare is such a big step. Holy crap. Oh my God, dude. Like, that is something that people take for granted. Like, that's real progress in politics. Like, that's so cool, dude. That's not just some type of rhetorical thing. Like, these are things, the ins and outs of policy making is so important, and people don't want to, people like Jimmy Dore don't want to give the time of day to actually make sure they know what they're talking about. It's literally exactly what Michael Brooks said about Jimmy Dore. If you don't care to put the time into this shit, to be refined and to be educated and to really give the best quality help you can to these movements, stop complaining about the people that are willing to do that.
You don't know how big that is and how hard we are going to have to fight for that, because they are already chomping at the bit to get that public option and administer it the way that Medicare Advantage plans, for example, are administered. We got a commitment that we finally tackle long-term care. That was put into my bill for the first time, the giant elephant in the room. We got a commitment that we would eliminate the 800,000 people that are in the long-term care waiting list.
Mike, from where? Oh, wait. I should be playing this 1 second.
We got a commitment that we would eliminate the 800,000 people that are in the long-term care waiting list and create 600,000 new long-term care jobs, mostly, by the way, women.
Oh, that's good too. That's real good.
Women of color jobs. We got a commitment for the most aggressive pharmaceutical pricing that we have ever had, better than what we passed in the House of Representatives, that any pharmaceutical drug would be negotiated across all payers.
No, Humanist
and
Report.
that no American would pay more for their pharmaceutical drugs than they pay in any other country.
That's
so
good too.
We got we got a no deductible plan. I mean, I could go on. I have like 3.
Yeah, so the Humanist Report, people were calling him MSNBC because he had a nuanced take, dude. If you show nuance and some type of discipline in your take and you're called a corporate sellout, dude, don't take any of that criticism. You're doing the right thing. You are doing 100% the right thing. What's up, Ian? What's up, Hank? How's everybody doing? Please consider dropping a like onto the stream and leaving a subscribe too. I'm sorry if it buffers at all. It happens. I'm gonna try to fix my internet issues. I don't know how. My quality issues. I'll figure it out eventually. I'm sorry about the issues right now, though.
3 pages of what we were able to get. Now the question is, can we get Biden to deliver on those things? We put out in our 6-month agenda.
You need to give. This is such a big point about political power. You need to give people like Biden the opportunity to succeed. Democrats need to have power in order for progressives to get power. Because if Democrats never have power to fumble and they can blame everything on Republicans, then those Democrats can always hide behind that excuse. This is such a big deal. And this is why, by the way, I was such an advocate for voting for Joe Biden no matter where you are, because of that very reason. And now I see people like Nico House saying, hey guys, since Joe Biden is in office now he can no longer hide behind Trump. I'm like, no crap. Like, that's the point of this entire thing. Like, Yeah, remember, you must burn all bridges and make political enemies of all of your allies in order to get progress. Yeah, basically.
And
It's so refreshing hearing somebody who knows what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
we put out in our 6-month agenda that we think there are other key ways to expand Medicare right now that would put us on the path to Medicare for all. What are those? That is dropping the Medicare age to 50. Biden committed to
Right.
60. I think we need to go to 50.
Right.
We added covering all kids up to 25. And so if we can get those pieces in, that will be a significant step forward.
Here's my prediction, all right? My big prediction. If universal health care is done in the US, it will be Medicare as is extended to everybody. It won't be Medicare for all in the sense where it covers 100% of everything, including dental and eye care, but it will be Medicare as is right now. So you can buy like Medicare Advantage or something like that on top of your plan. And that will help it resemble a multipayer plan like Australia or something. Current Medicare given to everybody would be such a big deal. It doesn't need to be Medicare for all, honestly. We can achieve universal coverage while maintaining people's private health care. It can be done in a very effective way. Even though the ideal solution is obviously single payer, the most expansive healthcare plan in America, in global history, really, when it comes to what it covers. You know, Medicare as done right now is already popular. It doesn't scare people. It's not held down by the scare tactics of you're going to lose your private insurance, and it can be done. You know, it'd be so cool. What's the idea that Biden needs a lot of convincing on these things? He's bought into a lot of the progressive agenda. Well, you have to convince these politicians by moving voters. So any conversation about moving Biden left, I don't even think that's worth us having that much, because that will be done by Bernie Sanders and AOC and all these politicians who are actually in those rooms. When it comes to our job, we need to give. So at the bottom, grassroots pressure, progressives, we need to give the people who are in power, who are progressives, the necessary people power, which will give them political power to use on the inside of politics. That is an effective inside-outside strategy. Activism, you try to get more people from the outside on the inside, and then you keep on getting support, you know, all over the country in a decentralized way, and you keep on moving that needle, little by little by little. And we've been freaking so successful in that, you know, in our way to do that. Leftist Al, objectively, I know what you're saying, but objectively, when it comes to universal healthcare, that is untrue, because like places like Australia, you have private hospitals and public hospitals, but everybody has care, which is universal. In places like Sweden, it's basically universal. Like Norway, Denmark, they don't kill private insurance in those places. Even in the NHS, there's universal. In Canada, there's universal, but there's still private healthcare on top of it.
But in addition, we have gotten a commitment already to do a hearing in the Small Business Administration Committee on the Medicare for All bill. We just got a CBO, Congressional Budget Office, assessment of a single payer system that tells us what we all know, but it comes from the CBO, which is significant, that Medicare for all would cost significantly less than any other system or a single payer system. They didn't say Medicare for all. And so that positions us now to hold a big hearing on that piece to show all the myths that are out there. This is how we have to move it along. We put out in our 6-month agenda.
Well, in Australia, basically, everybody pays into Medicare in Australia, which Medicare gives you access to public hospitals. So there's public hospitals and private hospitals. If you decide you want to go to a private hospital and get private insurance, you still have to pay into Medicare. But what they do is give you a rebate to use on private insurance. So it gives everybody health care. Of course, if you have the public option, it's a guaranteed public option, though. A good public option means everybody's paying into it. Not necessarily everybody's using it, but we need everybody to pay into it, and we need coverage to be universal. But the public hospitals are going to be worse quality than the private hospitals, of course. Like if you pay for a private plan in Australia, you go to a really nice hospital, you'll be in your own room. But if you go to the, state hospital, then you're going to be in a more crowded place, basically.
that we think there are other key ways to expand Medicare right now that would put us on the path to Medicare for all. What are those? That is dropping the Medicare age to 50. Biden committed to 60. I think we need to go to 50. We added covering all kids up to 25. And so if we can get...
You can argue that keeping private could be better. Well, as long as there's a standard maintained for the public services as well. The one thing that people use as an argument for a single-tier healthcare system is everybody uses it, so therefore the quality will be maintained. So if the richest person needs to use the same healthcare as the poorest person, then that rich person will make sure the system is going to function well. But I do understand your point. Like, for example, if we only have public health services, everybody has to use that. But if we have private health insurance, then the more privileged people who are in higher categories who have private insurance will go to their hospitals, which in turn would technically lessen the flow of people going to the public institutions. But yeah, there's a lot of different things to consider here. Like rural hospitals are going to be a big cost to keep alive. Because less people are using it, you need to take care of that. I think Medicare for All does. There's so many things to consider.
Those pieces in, that will be a significant step forward. But in addition, we have gotten a commitment already to do a hearing in the small business.
What? But also to Vosh. I like Vosh. Vosh is one of the main people I watch. I listen to Vosh's podcast. Yeah, Vosh is awesome.
Business Administration Committee on the Medicare for All bill. We just got a CBO, Congressional Budget Office, assessment of a single payer system that tells us what we all know, but it comes from the CBO, which is significant, that Medicare for All would cost significantly less than any other system or a single payer system. They didn't say Medicare for All. And so that positions us now to hold a big hearing on that piece to show all the myths that are out there. This is how we have to move it along. We put out in our...
Is there more?
The question, though, with what you just described, what's your timeline?
Well, we're asking for these things in the first 6 months, right? So, but the Medicare, I mean, what we really want to bring to the floor are these pieces of expanding Medicare, and doing it within the context of the pandemic makes a lot of sense. The AFL, the AFL has been working very hard with some of our partners, our labor union partners. They just put out a statement saying that they're supportive of dropping the Medicare age to 50, where we want to cover kids. If we can get those bills through.
I can't stand that question, like, when is it going to get done? Like, okay, we're going to 100% get Medicare for All completely done by X date. Like, that isn't realistic. It's a really, I don't want to say childish. It's a naive way to look at politics. You don't have like, we're going to get Medicare for All by this date. This is the day we make the big stand for Medicare for All in Congress. And this is the day we start our media campaign. And this is the day we organize protests throughout the country. Like, this stuff isn't going to be set up like a board game.
And even if it's just contingent on the pandemic moment, that gives us the ability to continue the fight. The hearings, I think the Small Business Administration Committee's hearing, we're hoping to have in the spring, and we're hoping to get the Energy and Commerce.
Well, yeah, that's an issue, definitely. If you have a public option, you need to make sure that public option is either equivalent to or better. Well, actually, no, it needs to be better than private plans. The public option needs to outcompete private plans. One, to show that the government can do good healthcare and the government plan is superior. That increases confidence in that system. And also because market forces would lower the prices of private plans as well. But I don't know, dude. The people behind the scenes who would be making the policy for a public option might not do it in the best way possible. But that's why it's so important that they got that commitment to make sure a public option is done through Medicare. That's why, that's where that comes in as such a big deal.
First piece going as well within the first year, within the first 6 months. We're already scheduled for a rollout. I believe it's the first week of February for the Medicare for All bill. That will be a big moment for the Medicare for All movement to come together. I've been working to continue to get co-sponsors on. I started a Medicare for All PAC. You might know we've been doing these education sessions to help candidates who run on Medicare for All to be able to fight back against the attacks that they get, millions of dollars of attacks that they get from Democrats, by the way, and Republicans, and also, continuing to work to expand the number of people who are just ready to fight for Medicare for all and win on Medicare for all wherever their district. So those are all the pieces that are going on. But this is all for the first 6 months. We've got a full plan laid out. And
yeah. Okay. Oh, wait, another one? No, this is the final one, right? No, 6.
laid out. We've done it with our movement allies, with our progressive allies. Everybody is on, I shouldn't say everybody, because obviously I know there are some people who would like us to go a different path. But let me say the people who have been most involved in these discussions and in really thinking through the strategy of how we move something along. This is enormous progress for the Medicare for All movement. And it comes because of people around the country who have been continuing to do the hard work of getting their members of Congress on board, getting their city councils and county councils and state legislatures.
I feel like at this point, Jimmy Dore would be like, boring. We need to be mad. We need to be angry. We're thinking too much around here, guys. Not enough anger. Not enough yelling. We're thinking too much. What the hell? This is foreign to me. How dare you think and actually come up with a freaking plan? How dare you?
Legislatures to pass resolutions or to move single payer bills. Another bill that when I first came in was the state-based universal health care bill. I gave it to Ro Khanna to take over when I took on Medicare for All. But that's another piece that we got into the Biden platform, that we would expand the ability for states to either individually or, as a group, say California, Washington, Oregon, to come together and put together universal health care plans that would be able to access the federal streams of money.
Federal streams of money.
Do it if you can't access
that'd be so good. That'd be so good, dude. Holy crap, I love it. I love this stuff, dude. This stuff doesn't get clicks, but it gets me going. I'll tell you what. That's it, I think. Oh, wait. The Democratic Party is corrupt. Why aren't the rest of them supporting this? Okay.
Given the fact that the majority of Americans want it, why is this even hard?
I know. It's so...
No.
Why aren't all Democrats supporting it?
Fake
Given
news.
the fact that the majority of Americans
wrong.
want it.
Half Democrats want it. Half of Democrats want it. They literally don't know the polling data. It's so aggravating. Holy crap.
It's even hard.
I know. It's so frustrating to me, too. I think it's the money. It's all the lobbyists. It's the insurance companies.
No, you're missing the point. You were doing so good. We need to keep moving voters. It's not simply only the lobbyists. We need to beat them at the ground. We got to have a better ground game to overpower the corporate media structure and the propaganda that fearmongers about universal health care. Oh my God, dude. People need to stop pretending like the entire country's on our side already. There's so much work to do. God, it's so annoying. The entire country already agrees with us. No, they don't. God.
They can put 50 lobbyists for every member of Congress in the halls of Congress. And they, I was thinking about, all the charges of socialism and these cries, the red baiting is really just an effort to limit what is seen as possible, right?
So that just circles us back to the way, to the Democrats left looking as corrupted by corporate influence as Republicans are in the eyes of far too many Americans. I appreciate. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But when I ran for Congress, I think I was one of only, it was either 4 or 6 members of Congress who refused to take any corporate PAC money.
Money out of politics. Yep, good. Good night, Nighthawk. Wait, where did you DM me at? Where is it on Discord? Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know if it's on Discord. You have to tell me where, because I don't know. What's up, Dumb Bunny? Welcome to Discord. Because I didn't see anything yet, so you have to tell me your name and stuff like that, too. Discord is the best place. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, I'll check there. Thank you. All right, finishing Jimmy Dore. for now.
Sounds like he's on your side, right?
Yes.
Hang on. What we will be doing is working within the context of what Biden wants.
I have no problem during these dire times. I have no problem with Bernie Sanders taking a couple steps back to make sure people are getting help. If that means working with Joe Biden to make sure Americans are getting more money directly, you know. You've disagreed with my points. I hope you have a reason to disagree. It's not good to disagree if there's not foundational reasons, like if it's not the polling, because I'm right on the polling. The media cycle, I'm right on that. That's undisputed in my mind.
What happened to
But Jimmy literally sees the words working with Biden and gets mad. Like, that's his political analysis. Yeah, Biden is the president. You have to work within, like, when you're actually getting stuff done, when you're not just campaigning for a policy or trying to start a movement, when you're actually trying to get real stuff done that helps people, you're going to have to work within the context of, like, what Joe Biden wants. And even for progressivism, we need to be friends with Joe Biden so that Joe Biden's voters, Joe Biden, the president, Joe Biden, the leader of the Democratic Party, we need to have goodwill with those voters because we need that influence for the future. We can't say F Joe Biden at every turn. We need to help people and make sure we have goodwill with those voters so we can use that for the future. Saying F Joe Biden, F Barack Obama, F Nancy Pelosi, F the entire Democratic Party, that is so cool. That is so fun for a YouTube show. But in real life, things are a little bit more, complicated.
What happened to pushing Joe Biden left? What happened to pushing Joe Biden left, Bernie? Vote for Joe Biden, and then we push him left. What happened to that? We're going to be doing what Joe Biden
Did he read the policy? Did he actually read the policy Joe Biden put out? Or did he just, see that Joe Biden isn't for Medicare for all yet and stop there?
That's what Bernie's saying. I'm going to be doing what I'm not doing anything outside of what Joe Biden sanctions. Joe Biden is my boss. I'm working within the context of whatever Joe Biden wants. What about what the progressives want? Doesn't matter.
Hey, do you guys want a $15 minimum wage and checks to go to people and more money to be given to hire sanitation workers at schools? And also for expanded medical care during the pandemic, more money for medical workers. Like, these are all things Bernie Sanders is one of the big reasons, that it's actually happening. I think progressives care about that stuff, personally.
This is not how this story is being reported in all of progressive media, by the way. It's being reported the exact opposite.
They're thinking too much, guys. They're thinking too much. Jimmy's mad that we're thinking too much. Dang it. When you read a statement, you get mad, show emotion, and then smirk at the camera. That is called political analysis.
Hey, we need to get health care to all the people, so we're going to work in the context of the guy who doesn't want to get health care to all the people. I need that explained, Bernie.
So half the Democratic Party wants Medicare for all, so Bernie Sanders is going to focus on things that can actually get done right now and also build him political power instead of pushing for a policy that only half of Democrats want, let alone only 1/5 of Americans actually want in total.
We're going to do what the guy who wrote the crime bill wants.
Wait, that has nothing to see. This is the thinking. This is, feels over facts. This is the crime bill has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Is he just going to talk about the crime bill, the Iraq war? Is he going to talk about Biden being a war criminal? These aren't, you can make criticisms of Bernie here, but he can't even do that. I can make better criticisms of Bernie here. Like, Bernie should take to the stage and say, we need Medicare for all, emergency, universal health care for the pandemic. We need to expand regular medical care for the pandemic. He can do that. I would criticize Bernie. Maybe he can be more aggressive. But what Jimmy Dore just said right there isn't even a realistic criticism. Hey, Chicken Fried Bryce, thank you for the $5 super chat. Jimmy Dore doesn't know how policy works, yeah. Well, he doesn't care to, which is a big thing. If you don't care to know something, then you're not gonna.
Great plan. We're going to just push Joe left. I mean, if he wants to be pushed. We're going to push Joe left within the context of what he wants. So
does he think Bernie Sanders can literally just, Bernie can just yell at Joe Biden and get this stuff done? Pushing politicians left is a countrywide movement. It's not simply like Bernie Sanders going to Joe Biden and being like, Joe, you better do this right now, or something like that.
Basically, Reagan.
Reagan? Wait, what? Wait, Joe Biden's Reagan now?
Pushed. We're going to push Joe left within the context of what he wants.
Wait.
So basically, Reagan.
Huh? Yes. All right, guys. Bring up Reagan's trickle-down economic policy from the 80s. Please, show me his 1984 tax loophole reductions that didn't even help at all. Like, show me the actual policies of Reagan that line up with Joe Biden. Anything Reagan actually did, please tell me. Tell me something about that. And how that's congruent to Joe Biden and what Joe Biden actually wants to stand for. When, oh my God, dude.
There's your Bernie Sanders. There's your fighter. This is being reported as if Bernie Sanders is going to fight his ass off for you. He's going to do whatever. He's only going to do what Joe Biden tells him to do.
Bernie is not a fighter. He is dumb.
He's not doing anything that we thought up. He's doing whatever Joe Biden thought up.
And
his
Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore is progressivism. Jimmy D's right. We can just manipulate neolibs to do anything we want, and electing progressives wouldn't be necessary. Yeah, Jimmy Dore, unironically, is the person that believes Joe Biden. Oh my God, dude. Thank you for the $5. But it's really funny that Jimmy Dore is the person who unironically thinks Joe Biden can be moved left. That's what he's saying, essentially.
people.
I don't believe he can just go left. I think we need to do work.
87% of Democrats support Medicare for all, though
This poll is a bad poll.
Joe Biden doesn't. So I guess that 87% just need to adapt. It's only so
all Bernie got to do is say Medicare for all, and instantly the entire country gets health care. He's simply deciding not to. It's
Joe
that simple.
says so. Can this be the Democrats' new slogan? By the way, Biden suggests he would veto Medicare for all over its price tag. There it is. There it is. Yeah, it's cheaper than what we do now, so how can we possibly afford it? How can we afford a healthcare system that costs less? Where are you going to get less money? Remember when they told us they'd push Biden left? Now Bernie admitted in an interview last night that he's no longer fighting for Medicare for all. What we will be doing is working within the context of what Biden wants.
Because if you force a vote that only like barely half the party wants, that's going to fail by 350 votes. And you hold up the nomination of the speaker of your party, of the House, that has a 70% approval rating in the party. You know, you push an unpopular policy and you hold up a leader whose support base is voters you need to be, friendly to your policy. And that vote loses. By the way, Medicare for all is a policy that people think is pie in the sky and can never get done. That policy loses in a vote by 350 votes. How do voters react to that? Voters want things they believe can actually get done. Voters want things they believe can actually help them. And Medicare for all coming in and not getting through doesn't make it look good to voters. And voters are not going to be staring at their laps, watching C-SPAN, watching all the House proceedings, especially during this time. with the news cycle as convoluted as it is. During this primary, Bernie had a bully pulpit, essentially, to talk to Democratic voters. Bernie had that entire time to talk to voters about universal health care, and it really did work. He did a great job. He got a lot of... If you think voters would riot because Medicare for All got voted out, you literally... I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to... No, I didn't like Russiagate either. I don't want to be offensive, but you literally do not have anything close to... reasonable understanding of politics. I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how to say it any other way. If you think voters would have rioted over that, then you're completely ignoring, like, reality in general. Yeah, thank you, Nightbot. Voters wouldn't riot over mass evictions. Voters wouldn't riot over not getting $2,000 checks. Voters wouldn't even lift a finger. Politics is more complicated than that. You need to get their support by convincing them and winning arguments. And we have to build an infrastructure of organizations around the country that can beat their propaganda machine. But Medicare for All, forcing a vote doesn't help in any way then. Like, what's the point of doing it? You're risking losing tons of political capital for no gain. There's literally no possible gain. It's not going to get more people to support it. You can't pressure politicians who vote no because you need to move their voters first. Only half the party picks Medicare for All over a public option as their number one option. We need that number to be 80% of the party, maybe 70% of the party. Right now, the split in the House of co-sponsors to non-co-sponsors is actually pretty aligned with the actual polling data. Yeah, and also that 87% number, you can say, like, I might want Medicare for All. I really want Medicare for All. You can say, I want Medicare for All a little bit. You can say, I don't like Medicare for All, but I'll try it. You need people to say, I'm demanding Medicare for All for that to work. Yeah, you can build up political pressure around impeachment because people actually want that. People want impeachment. It's an issue right now that's going to happen. You can blame future violence on that exact impeachment. Like, if violence happens at the inauguration and Republicans don't vote to remove Trump, that'll actually hold their feet to the fire in a way that Medicare for All wouldn't do. Medicare for All barely has half approval in one party. Impeaching Trump has majority approval in the entire country. With Democratic voters, Republican voters, independent voters. Impeachment is a totally different topic here. And AOC, she knew the party was going to go in that direction. It made a lot of sense for her politically to come out as a leader in that push for impeachment. Her and the other progressive leaders are scoring so many points with regular Democratic normie voters. Yeah, medical debt is the number one reason for bankruptcy, yeah. But if only half of Democratic voters want Medicare for All, that it doesn't work that way. No, I'm saying the entire country wants to. I'm saying, like, if you combined... My bad, I said that wrong. If you combine Republicans, Independents, and Democrats, it's over 50%. It's like 55, 60%. My bad. I didn't mean to say that a majority of Republicans are for it. My bad. What is the polling for M4A under union workers? I don't know. I don't know if there are polls like that. I think union workers like it, depending on where you are. What even are unions anymore? Even if medical debt is a problem, like, you can be right about things, but until you get voters on your side, it doesn't matter. Like, we also know, what's another bad thing? What's another bad thing in America that needs to be fixed? Like, homelessness, that's a big problem. People don't want to actually fix it. They don't care enough to. Or, like, deteriorating public schools is a problem. People don't want to fix it yet. You need to convince them to. Your normie mom loves AOC now. Exactly. That's the big goal here. Progressives want to take over the Democratic Party. They don't want to be seen as adversaries to the party. Yeah, like hunger too. They aren't. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to riot over food stamps. They just don't. And a big issue with policies like this as well is you need people who don't have problems to support it. So you need somebody who has healthcare already to support Medicare for all. That's a big issue right now. It's easy to sell to somebody who doesn't have healthcare, like go on this government plan. And actually, by the way, people who don't have healthcare, a good percentage are Republicans who don't want healthcare at all. They don't want to pay for private and they don't want government run. So that's a little bit deceiving. A lot of unemployed people and medical bankruptcies are in very red states. Flint water crisis hasn't been done. Yeah, if they would have forced a vote, if they would force a vote on like Biden's plan to hold his feet to the fire on something they actually support and make it like a Medicare for all buy-in for the public option, like force a public option vote on that. I think I see Zombie's issue here. Oh, wait, never mind. Yeah, you said it's anecdotal, yeah. But, like, across the country, we just don't have that support yet. We need people who, even in Joe Manchin's district, we need people who are going to be supporting Medicare for all, at least at, like, a 40% clip. Yeah, and these politicians need to know there's an organization that will take them out if they don't support something as well. Yeah, they don't want tax dollars to go to medical for anything, for private healthcare or for Medicare for all. For like for example, that's why the Obamacare mandate is so unpopular cuz so many people would rather not have healthcare at all than pay for Obamacare. Oh, but oh, Jay got blocked. It doesn't matter if you disagree with me. It's what the polling says. Like, it doesn't matter unless if people are actually supporting it. That's what like 90 yeah, that's what all polls say. Yeah. The best polls give like Medicare for all a 60% rating in the party. By the way, look at the cat. Look at that kitty. Look at the sleeping kitty. Aw, so cute. What a nice kitty. I'll pet the kitty. We can start having universal healthcare debates next month. I'm not gonna. This month is gonna be too crazy with news. I'm gonna prepare a big thing about that, I guess. This cat's name is Oddy. Oddy. Meow. Yeah, sleeping cats makes people happy, true. No, the polling saying Hillary had a 90% chance of winning that's not even what the polling said. It was like 60% chance on election day. And that polling is different. Like, we're talking about a margin of error of like plus 2 or 3% points. A plus or minus of 2 or 3% percentage points. When we're talking about what I'm saying, no matter what, my argument works. Elections are different, especially when the popular vote polling was correct. The polling for a presidential election is going to be far different from a polling thing for Medicare for all. Especially with how things change so rapidly in a presidential election with November surprises or October. Is it October surprises? It's not November. It's October. Yeah, he's so comfy right now. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got YouTube Premium after all this time. Yeah, it's Audi, ODDY. The Dems should fight for jobs programs and helping small business. If you feel rage, you probably just see that within your own circle in like Twitter and stuff like that, which is fine, but that doesn't reciprocate the real. Oh, wait, there's 5 people watching on Twitch? What the hell? People don't usually watch on Twitch. Who goes there? I don't watch Twitch because nobody watches there. Let me find it. Where are you? Never mind. Nobody's talking here. Yeah, no one talks about forced to vote outside of Twitter. I don't think anybody knows about it that I know. All right. Jimmy Dore says something really stupid. He says something so dumb. 1 second. Let me just play this end part here.
These politicians are not our allies. They're selling neoliberalism.
Mm-hmm.
No,
These pauses are simply for people to fill in their own emotions and their own conclusions. This isn't even commentary.
I'm going to bet you 100% we're the only show that reports it this way.
The wrong
Everyone
way?
else is going to be touting all the shit Bernie claims he's going to be doing, and they're going to be leaving
mean reading
out
the
this important
policies?
piece of information that he's only going to be doing with Joe
So
Biden.
they're going to read the policies and leave out one thing he said in one interview?
Wants. Because that's the crucial piece of information as far as this show's concerned.
Yeah, as far as your show is concerned,
I
because you
wish
don't
him
care
good
about
luck.
the
I hope
truth.
I hope Bernie's able to get something good done.
He is,
We're a
if you
failed state.
read the
We're in the
policies.
middle of social unrest, and there's a lot more coming. And propping up Joe Biden instead of ripping him apart and pushing him left is the wrong thing to do. Bernie.
Ripping him apart, but we want
You're
progressives to
part
get
of
political
the-
power.
You're part of these Bernie. Well, Bernie's the establishment.
He is the
I
establishment
mean,
now?
Jesus Christ, he's the chairman of the budget committee. That we couldn't be more fucking establishment than that.
This is so dumb. So, Bernie Sanders has a real position of power. And apparently that means, to Jimmy Dore, establishment. If Bernie Sanders was president, literally the highest office in the land, does that mean establishment? What? What does this even mean?
He told people to vote for Hillary Clinton, and he told everybody to vote for Joe Biden.
Yes,
Like-
that was good. If Hillary, oh my God, dude. If Hillary Clinton would have won, our country would be so much closer to a better state of progress. Holy crap. If Hillary would have won, oh my goodness, without the absolute freaking distraction of Trump the last 4 years, we can actually be pressuring Democratic politicians. Oh my God. And at the Supreme Court, if Hillary would have won, everything would be so much better right now, dude. We'd be so much closer to Medicare for all. Jimmy Dore in 2016 said, if Trump wins, then we're going to have a big reaction of progressivism. The opposite happened. People ran to the middle. Anti-disestablishmentarianism, yeah, that's me. Or anti-disestablishmentarianism, yeah. We would have made more progress on climate change. We would be able to actually pressure Democrats. Now we're starting from square one. God, dude. Harambe would be alive. Calling Trump anti-establishment, he's a reactionary. He's angry. He doesn't want to think. It's simply how it is. It's fun to watch him and criticize him, just for fun. But this part of the left is really just... Yeah, if Bernie was elected president and Bernie was like, all right, guys, we're not authoritarian dictators. We need to actually get people on our sides. Jimmy Dore would freak out, though. Yeah, people love the emotion. He's a place where people can go yell and get mad and scream and complain. Because I used to watch Jimmy Dore, so I know. Yeah, Mindforge, 100% COVID would have killed so many less people. Kim Iverson is literally like a She's literally up on the right. But, you know, all these populist lefties defend Trump because they're anti-liberal. They aren't pro-progress. I wish I could talk to her. She doesn't get good views on her YouTube videos, but she has like $5,000 pouring on a Patreon. So that's how they do it, you know. All these donations. Jimmy Dore makes like $10,000 a stream, dude. If I got that much money, it would change my freaking life. Any of us, anybody watching this probably too. You know what I mean? Imagine getting $10,000 in an hour because you yell at AOC, and that's why people like you. Oh my goodness. Who is Megabyte? I'll make a separate Discord chat for you, but I'm not gonna make a website or anything until I get more like subscribers and stuff. I'm sorry, Megabyte. I don't know if you're still watching. I see you in Discord chatting. The most extreme people accumulate the most loyal fans. And I mean, I feed into it because I watch him and drag people to him. So wait, Progressive Voice got her mad. By the way, thank you everybody who liked the stream and subscribed. Almost at 4,100 subscribers. I want to hit 5,000 before. I want to hit 5,000 subs by my birthday. I curated Jimmy Dore. Hey man, if Destiny would let me on to debate Force the Vote, I could probably hit 5,000 subs by next week, but the guy won't respond to my emails. God, dude. Platform somebody. Come on, platform me, Destiny. I'm begging. I will beg you. I don't care. I am not ashamed to be begging. Is he live right now? Maybe I'll leave a super chat. He's not live anymore. Dang it. Yeah, he is. What is he doing? No, he's not there. He's not. Okay. Gotta pick a good time. Yeah, thanks, Jay. I mean, I'm not liberal. You're just stupid, okay? You're just dumb. You are an anti-revolutionary. You are anti-progress, okay? I'm pro-progress. If you're not willing to engage in what they call praxis, then you're not really for progress. Rhetoric doesn't matter. Unless if you're a politician and you're trying to convince people. Okay, rhetoric does matter. Never mind. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, forced to vote. My birthday is in March. So I want to get 5,000 by March. I don't use Praxis. That's a LARPy thing, isn't it? Any update? Okay, so I sent Destiny an email. I messaged him on Discord. I'm friends with him on Discord from another email from a while ago. I put another video up on my channel that got no views. I went to Destiny's Reddit and I made a post there. It got around 350 upvotes. Not enough to be noticed, but I still appreciate the help. If anybody has a Reddit and wants to go hype this up, you can. I mean, here, let me find it real quick. Yeah, this. I don't know how to reach him. There's a chance he saw my stuff already. Who knows, though? No, don't spend money for me. Don't worry about it. It's just unfortunate. It is disheartening, all right? To see people who are like who's young? I'm young? Oh yeah, I'll be turning 21. Yeah, I'm a part of multiple groups. I'm going to be running for something. Jimmy Dore is part of fringe third parties that are never going to actually get any real political power. That is anti-progress, antithetical to progress. Remember Joshua for Joshua for Congress? Anybody? Oh, good night. I don't know how to say it. You know, Albeder. Oh wait, you were talking about Progressive Voice? Progressive Voice actually woke someone up to something that's awesome. Joshua ran in your district. Yeah, these are the people that were mad at Nina Turner for running as a Democrat. The Progressive Voice is funny. I don't know what kind of stuff he really does. From what I've seen, he's like he seemed to soak up a lot of drama because he made a lot of videos about like people wasn't he called the TMZ of progressive channels? You got to watch the debate with Destiny and Joshua. It's like 3 hours long though. I had a long car ride to school and I listened to it. Dropped a link in Discord. Let me look. TMZ of yeah, okay. Where did you drop it at? Oh, right here. Cool. Oh yeah, this one again. Yeah, I made a 2-second video about it. This is true.
Madam Speaker, St. Louis and I rise in support of the article of impeachment against Donald J. Trump. If we fail to remove a white supremacist president who incited a white supremacist insurrection, it's communities like Missouri's 1st District that suffer the most. The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist in chief. Thank you, and I yield back.
Yes. Amazing fighter. Or as Jimmy Dore would say, a political sellout. Another establishment figure who's just going to go in there and do nothing. These people are all figureheads that are not going to actually help anybody. They're like chess pieces. You say she's a queen, I say she's like a chess piece queen, you know what I mean? She's only she's playing in their game. She's a loser. Sellout. Yeah, some people got mad at that. People don't know what white supremacy even is, you know. It's kind of rough. And I'm like, people say Donald Trump isn't a white supremacist. And I say like, okay, why do people show up to Trump rallies with Nazi flags or like swastikas on their shirts or like, you know, Confederate flags and all that stuff? And they're like, I don't know, they just showed up. And I'm like, oh, another thing too. I complained to my old history teachers in high school. I'm like, hey, why does everybody think Hitler? Why does everybody think Hitler was a socialist? Why did you tell me Hitler was a socialist? When literally the first people in concentration camps were political prisoners who were Democrats and socialists and communists. My history teachers lied to me. I yelled at them. What are you talking about? The Nazi Party is one of the most ultra-nationalist parties of all time, obviously. Yeah, it's like the USSR too, but I mean, some socialists will talk about that as a good thing. No matter what you think, that's a bad optics game, no matter what. Their reasoning? I don't know. Let me find this one. They just said that they were taught to teach it that way. Political, what's it called? Political spectrum? Political spectrum. So I don't know if I could find it, but they showed me a political spectrum in one of my classes, and it had anarchism on the far right because people assumed, I guess you could say anarcho-capitalism, an ANCAP. But all they said on the far right was anarchism after conservative. So they had like socialist, liberal, moderate, and then on the right it was conservative and anarchist. So that's how I learned in high school about politics and the political spectrum. Because I guess they think conservative literally means less government. So anarchism means no government. So therefore anarchism is a right-wing ideology. That's what I thought. I mean, Steven Crowder video on how the Nazis are leftists somehow, yeah. What does everybody think about the I don't usually talk about this drama stuff, but I'm interested to see what you guys are thinking about the Chud logic stuff. Did anybody see that? I'm not going to say much about it, but I want to know if anybody has any opinions. I don't talk about that stuff. Like, you know, most people are like, "Ooh, drama, I need to get clicks." But I'm like, okay, I'm not in this culture. Maybe someday. Bob7, you're right. Dang it, dude. You're right, protest in Twitch. Destiny and Bob7 are going back and forth right now, so this is going to be a big thing. He's not going to focus on that forced to vote debate. Dang it. What a shame. Xanderhall covered it. I'll get dragged into it. Hey, not if the YouTube algorithm doesn't help me. I sent a DM to Denims again. I was supposed to message her again like a month ago, but I didn't because of all the stuff that went on. Just look up Chud logic drama. I don't want to talk about it. I just wanted to see if anybody had any opinions. What is like streaming culture? What is considered a sizable streamer? I don't know any of this stuff. I feel like I'm like a socially awkward kid at like a party. Like I don't know what I'm doing. Is like 100 viewers reasonably good on average? Is that a good thing? Is that like respectable? Or am I not there yet? What number is a good number? Oh yeah, Denims and Vosh. Yeah, Denims literally shot up like 1,000 subscribers after that. I'm pretty sure. She got a big kick. That's pretty cool. Because I watched it and I saw, oh wow, she's at like 2.8 thousand subs or something now. I'm excited to talk to her and Ben Burgess too. 1 to 3K is streamer numbers, but like Xander Hall averages at like he averages anywhere from 200 to 800 or like 200 to 1,000, and he needs to stream when Vosh isn't on, which means he's basically taking Vosh's like offline audience. Because if Vosh is on, obviously he's like the when it comes to like sports ratings, it's like what's a good comparison? Oh, does anybody know NBA? It'd be like if LeBron James is playing on one channel and so Vosh would be LeBron, and who else is a really known person? Who else is a well-known person in the NBA? That would be a good comparison. Like Kevin Durant? Yeah, Vosh is cool. Yeah, I like Vosh. He's more of a Kevin Durant, yeah. That's a good comparison for what I'm saying. Still giving respect to both people, No, I'm saying for this analogy. I'm not saying Vosh is LeBron. Chill out. No, I'm not saying that in general. I'm saying for this analogy. Yeah, Chris Paul could be one. Could be like Devontae Graham, yeah. I watch a lot of different content. I'm very varied. I'm not into all the all the hating content creator stuff yet. Other than Jimmy Dore, never mind. Yeah, Jimmy Dore. Oh, did you see that that Vosh is probably going to be on Kyle and Crystal's podcast because he was about to react to a Crystal Ball video and he said, wait, I can't be mean to Crystal Ball anymore. So I think Vosh is going to be on Crystal Ball on Kyle and Crystal, that podcast. That'll be a interesting one. Denim said she was ready to be bread pilled. Ben Burgess will be fun. Because he's really he had a debate with Vosh on class, and I want to talk to him on what his opinion is on if he thinks class politics can help defuse the culture war in some scenarios and in which scenarios, and if rural areas can be bought over by class politics. So basically, how much class and how effective does it need to be to win in this climate? Because obviously, culture war is what voters really vote on. In the end of the day, if you're voting for Trump, it's culture war. If you're voting for a lot of people, it's culture war. So how do you win that battle as the progressive who focuses on policy? Vosh won't go hard on Crystal in person. Well, that'll be funny though, because if Crystal says to him like, "Hey, I saw a video of you calling me a raging bitch who is stupid," what is Vosh gonna say back? Like, yeah, I said that, but no. How does Vosh talk? Yes, I said that, but what I really meant was that when I watched your videos on Sagar, you don't push back. Tripled down. He tripled down with Michael Tracy. That was a pretty rough one. He went hard at Michael Tracy. Progressives aren't going rural anytime soon. Well, it depends what you mean by progressives. Do you mean like individual progressives, or do you mean like in general progressives? Because I do know some progressives who are really successful in rural areas. So what do you mean in general? If you mean all progressives, yeah. As a homogeneous organism, I guess if you look at progressivism as one big bubble, I agree. Michael Tracy is so spineless. He's like he's mini Tim Pool. Michael Tracy is to Tim Pool what Xander Hall is to Vosh. That's a good comparison, right? Yeah, Michael Trace. Oh my goodness, dude. Nico House was talking about how he's losing subscribers. Have a good night, zombie. Oh, Jimmy Dore isn't punching left. Don't worry. Jimmy Dore's punching right. Nico House was losing subscribers during the Nazi purge. I have to watch out when I'm talking about these other streamers nowadays. People might actually hear about it if I say something bad by accident. That's another scary thing. I see people leaving comments on videos, and I feel, I know I shouldn't care about it, but like I feel like if they only watch like 1/5 of the video and they get a total misrepresentation of what I'm saying, it reminds me that on this freaking platform, people are freaking toxic. Any chance to be mad at you, they will be freaking mad at you. No matter what I do. And I think I'm pretty like, I try to keep myself away from that, like, other than with Jimmy Dore, from that talks. And even with Jimmy Dore, it's there's substance in the criticisms. Yep, see you, Mr. Zombie Killer. By the way, anybody who disagrees with me, who's willing to, come and chat is always welcomed. I like people who disagree with me, who can do it in a really good way. Well, yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, Grant? Yeah. I'm not getting too big. I'm just saying, like, in general. Like, I looked up my name on Reddit, and there's clips of me. I'm like, what? Why are there clips of me talking on Reddit? Who did that, by the way? I saw like 5 of them. Who did it? Somebody has to be here. There were streamable clips of me. They were good clips, but what's up, Grant? I'm getting ready to go back to college someday, you know? Hopefully the internet there is good, so I could do some streaming. We probably, Erica, we probably disagree a little bit on police, maybe. Like the approach of talking to police. Out of context. Yeah, Nico House is losing subscribers because they're all Nazis. Jimmy Dore, Nico, Kim Iverson, Michael Tracy, Combo Couch. Gotta talk more policy. Well, I have I need to rebuild my arguments for universal health care, actually. And I need to get some actual numbers for it. Because before like I said, I used to be a Jimmy Dore, Kyle Kalinske fan. My old universal healthcare arguments were healthcare is a human right. You're a corrupt asshole if you don't support my idea. No, Destiny has not invited me, man. I wish. What's up, Flex? Pinata. I need to rebuild my universal healthcare arguments because I do support Medicare for all, of course, but I don't believe Medicare for all will get done as is. So it's a little bit weird. Like, that is sort of an argument I use now, though. Like, I don't think Medicare for all will ever happen exactly how it says. I think it'll be a multi-payer system, but supporting Medicare for all is what's necessary if we ever want universal healthcare in America, because we need to push for that ideal in order for it to get done in any capacity. If you support universal healthcare. Another issue is talking to people who are on the right. And on the right, yeah, I have to use, it depends if they're on the internet right or the real life right. If you're talking to a real regular conservative voter, and this is what I want to talk to Denims and stuff about. Conservative voters in rural areas, and I'm going to talk about, you're going to hear me say this a lot. A lot. So Republicans in these small communities always had a simple way of life. Things operated in their town in a way that was familiar to them. When all these new government programs came in, these people saw those programs as disruptive to their way of life. So they became distrustful of the government. That's why Reagan's big line was, and conservatives in general, their big line was, nothing should, what is the line? It was like, nothing should scare you more than when a government agent says, I'm here to help, or some form of that, because they thought the government came to mess everything up. So we need to sell our policies as an extension of community, because that's what they care about, is community and family values and all that stuff. So like universal healthcare is an extension of community. If you have $100, use this argument, by the way. If you have $100, I personally think if you pay $100 into insurance, that $100 should all go back into helping people. That $100 should all be spent on healthcare. Our current for-profit system means that $100 we currently give per $100, however you want to describe it, at least 30% of that is going to go to the company, their profits. 30% of that $100 is not going to go to helping people. It's going to go to a company's profits. And then if you get hurt, they are going to gatekeep your own money from helping you. I believe all money in healthcare should be for taking care of people. And we need to make corporations be the new government. We need to make sure people know corporations are limiting our freedom, and us coming together collectively as one, as a community, as whatever you want to label it as, is our prerogative if we actually want to get more freedom. You know, negative and positive freedoms. But yeah, that's what I'm going to say a lot more. Anarch stuff. I'll chat whatever YouTubers you people like to watch. I'll chat with them. I don't. Yeah, I'll do that. I don't have a set thing of what I am yet, or if I am anything. So any conversation, bring it up to me. At least general conversations. I'm not ready for like an intense debate on worker co-ops or something. My breakdown on hard and soft support. Well, thanks. Yeah. Greenwald is having a break. Oh, don't sub to my music channel. Don't look at my music channel. Nope. Delete. Remove. Remove. Bye. Kyle never called out Dore's anti-Semitic stuff. Oh, the cat was moving. Oh, he's looking at the camera. Look how cute that is. Aw, his eyes are open. That's so cute. Oh, he's blinking. He's blinking. He's going crazy. Oh, oh my goodness. I love Yawn. Putting on a show. Oh, what's up? I didn't even recognize you, Dania or Dania, whatever. Dania probably. With your new profile picture. What's up? Oh yeah, after you left that comment on Patreon tiers, I actually spent the entire night restructuring everything. You said none of these make sense, so I fixed it all. Look at that kitty. All right, I'm gonna drop this Discord link down here. Debating Nazis, right wingers would be a great idea to get views. That type of content. I do know somebody who I Thank you, Black Paint. I do know somebody who would do that. Do you know that person Vosh debated? That one right winger. 1 second. Let me find this. C-space. Yeah, C-space.
What if I told you there was an economic system that would allow you to live as comfortably as you do now, but
I do.
You wouldn't. Well, yes, but you wouldn't have to work as many hours.
Let me guess. It's communism.
I was going to say socialism.
Oh, let me guess. It's the same thing. Tomato. No, it's tomato. Got you again, Republican.
Do you think there's any difference between socialism and communism?
No.
I see. Well,
yeah, so I actually DM'd him a couple times. The cat doesn't know that I know he's looking at me. Yeah, I DM'd C-Space a couple times. Should I get him on? I don't know if it's worth it. I don't want to get involved in all the Nazi stuff. I don't know. So cute. He's gonna insult me if I do. I can get him on if I want. I DM'd him before. Before he talked to Xander Hall again. But it's all about the content, you know? It's all about the clicks and the views. He's not a Nazi? I'll think about it. I'm not gonna sell my soul yet. Yeah, I don't want to get completely doxxed. Anti-vaxxers, I see so many people like that. Hopefully, enough normal people get the vaccine. No too hateful YouTubers. Patience is very useful. Yeah, that's what, I don't get offended, so I don't know. Define normal people? People who don't listen to Facebook conspiracy theories all day. Like, when I say listen to it, I mean people who, like, for example, I know older people who will see a link. Like, one I saw this week. It said, Pope Francis arrested, put in jail for life for child trafficking. And that's obviously not true. But I saw people sharing it and getting mad about it as if it was true. People that believe stuff like that. Black nationalists. I can't do that. Nope. I cannot. Nope. 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 That's how I get canceled. That'll be the day I get canceled. I can't do it. I actually know somebody who is pretty much that. Yeah, all the illness. I got the COVID vaccine, and then I coughed the next day after getting the vaccine. I thought I was going to die. Yeah, Q saying Pelosi has been arrested. My neck hurts, by the way. I went on a hike today up a mountain. Up a tall mountain. I should describe this like Trump. If Trump went on a hike, he'd be like, I went up the biggest mountain so fast. This mountain was above the clouds. Nobody thought it was possible, but I did it. I climbed up the mountain. My subs explode after I get canceled. January 20th. I'm not excited. I'm not excited. I am excited. I'm like a scared excited. I'm excited in the way that you are when you're about to go down a roller coaster. Because I know something's... I don't know, but I expect something bad's going to happen. The entire state capital... I don't know if anybody else has this, but have your state capitals announced they're going to be closed down? Because apparently every state capital is supposed to be attacked in our country. Cancel war vet. Anti-vax debate will get your channel banned. Cautious optimism. Hey, January 21st, I'll be a happy camper for a day, for a little bit, for a couple hours. After I know Joe Biden has become president and did not get hurt or assassinated or nobody did at all, after I hear everything was good, everything will be okay. I guess. A transfer of powers. Yeah. State capitals. Yeah, so DC is going to be locked down, right? State capitals are going to have a bigger issue being secure. They don't have access, or they're not going to have the same, what's it called? Forces deployed, right? Best bet would be to I don't know, actually. There's a higher than 30% chance that at least one state capital in America is going to be controlled by an insurgent force. There's a good percent, a good percent chance that they're going to capture a state capital somewhere. National Guard running around the capital. Over 3,000, okay. Yeah, Biden looks bad. No matter what, when Biden finally does go, it's going to be like... When Biden finally does go, it's going to be all conspiracy driven, of course. Like, oh no, they finally decided to kill him. So Kamala could take over. Hey, thanks for the $2 super chat, Jay. Good night. See ya. Yeah, I'm getting off in a second. The cat wants to go to bed. This cat keeps me up all night. Oh, wait, I didn't do the AOC emote. My bad. I'll do the AOC emote that you want. That you've been begging for months and months and months. Trump is gonna wait, is that true? Trump is gonna declassify Obamagate? Let me look. Obamagate. Trump Obamagate. I don't see anything about it. Is it on like Twitter or something? See a chicken fried rice. Yeah, go play with the cat, you know.
Good evening, everybody. Dramatic new developments to report this evening. First, President Trump is declassifying top secret documents, all related to Obamagate.
Boom!
It is the coordinated and years-long spying against a presidential candidate and ultimately the President of the United States and his administration, that of Donald J. Trump. We'll have the shocking details. Just the news editor-in-chief, John Solomon, will.
Public shortly. Is this gonna happen? Tomorrow or Monday? The thing we cannot underestimate is it doesn't matter. It does not matter if there actually is evidence. It doesn't matter if this is true or false. It matters if the propaganda game works. And this is going to incite more violence, of course. If something does come out that even looks remotely like something bad. Trump made it clear he wants a big exit, but Americans that I've been talking to seem to not understand the concept of language and English, because they're saying, well, guys, and I'm sure you've heard this in one way, in one form or another about something. Guys, he didn't explicitly tell everybody to storm the Capitol. He didn't explicitly say to try and kill the Congress members. Therefore, he didn't incite the insurrection. But stuff like this, spreading conspiracy, spreading anger, spreading hate, spreading animosity, spreading, as Jimmy Dore would call, Jimmy Johns would call anti-establishment narratives that are not founded. This is dangerous. Yeah. Verge of tears about their leader and their culture war. Nothing material. That's why, like, Kyle and Crystal and all them need to walk back their takes, that this is all due to systemic failures. This has been repeating throughout American history, and it grew in the suburbs. All this white supremacy. Ooh, I didn't know AOC did this. How nice of her. How nice of AOC. Well, we already know nothing really happened, but if they present the information in a way that looks like something bad, then anything can happen. I don't know. Three hours ago, at 9:52, Schiff was referring to new 2K relief checks. Most charitable conclusion is that the Democratic messaging was so unclear that not even all their leadership is on the same page as to the dollar amount. Okay. All right, good night, everybody. Have a good one. I'll be back. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Prepare for the big fight. Oh, yeah, by the way, I have to get a car. My car broke. We'll see how that goes. Time to get some debt. Hell yeah. Time to get some debt, baby. Time to pick up some debt. Oh, yeah. Time to get another internship. Time to get 10 internships, baby.